Are you ready to feel confident and prepared for your retirement despite fears of an upcoming recession? That means no more sleepless nights, no more complex scenarios that lead to costly mistakes because you just don't know what you just don't know. That means no more feeling at the mercy of the economy. That is my goal for you. That's my hope for you. Here at Advanced Financial Planning, for our team, that's our vision for you. And we've helped hundreds and hundreds of others accomplish it. I'm Telton Hall, Certified Financial Planner in Cedar City. I'm going to share with you 3 key concepts that helped protect my clients during the last recession. First, let's admit there's a recession coming. You don't like it, I don't like it. But just because we don't like it, there's no good reason for you to be blindsided with your retirement wrecked. I started my career on the brink of the last recession. I had a couple good years. I brought on some of my first clients. Oh, they were precious clients. Then we plunged into the Great Recession, that financial meltdown of 2008. I'm sure you remember it. I certainly do. I want to tell you about one of my cherished clients because they were one of my first clients back then. I'm going to call them Dave and Lucille. Those names are made up for privacy, but their experience is real. It was real to them, and it's real to me. Dave and Lucille, they'd worked hard their entire lives. They were just like you, wanted to retire comfortably. Dave was actually kind of in love with his job. He didn't know if he would ever retire, so he hadn't put a ton of thought into it. But Lucille was diagnosed with a severe illness that began to limit her mobility. So when I came into the picture, Dave's deepest desire was to retire and travel with Lucille. Not even extravagant travel. Just take a cruise together before it was too late and go visit family in the Midwest that they hadn't connected with for years. Second only to that was his desire to make sure if he passed away first, which was not likely considering Lucille's condition, but he wanted to know she would be taken care of. But they were worried. They could see some signs that the economy was slowing. They wondered, would they run out of money? Would they still be able to afford their travel dreams? So we came together. We built a prudent plan, utilizing some of these concepts that I'm going to share with you. Dave retired, and then the economy fell off a cliff. You remember it. I remember it. Frankly, it wasn't perfect. I remember driving up to Dave's house. My clients come into the office, or we talk on the phone. But on this day, I got out of the office and I drove up to his house. And we were sitting out on his patio, and I told him I was scared. I told him I was worried. I wondered if we were doing the right things. His response to me was, Telton, with your help, we have more coming in each month than we have going out. And that's all we need. By using the key concepts of retirement, 3 of which I'll show you in a minute, Dave and Lucille got on that cruise. They were able to travel like they wanted to. They retired comfortably. They maintained their standard of living. And they removed that fear of running out of money. As you can see, Dave and Lucille's story is real and it's personal to me. I wish that that was the end of it. But Dave's premonition proved true. My client and my friend passed away unexpectedly. Years have passed since then. Lucille is doing remarkably well. She's living comfortably near her children and grandchildren, and she's grateful for that extra time that she got to spend with Dave after his retirement. As you can see, Dave and Lucille's story is not that unique. I'm sure that you can relate. Don't you worry about retiring into a changing economy? Wouldn't you love to know right now how much income you're going to have in retirement? And aren't you ready to take simple steps to create that calm sense of certainty? I will tell you this. The difference between dying at your desk because you don't know what to do, or maybe worse, retiring and running out of money, versus retiring comfortably, confidently, comes down to 45 minutes. 45 minutes with us addressing key concepts of retirement. I promised you some of those concepts, so let me walk you through these. Concept number one, it's called sequence of returns. So imagine this scenario. Two different people retire. They have the same amount of money. They need the same amount of income. Their retirement portfolios average the same return, and they have the same life expectancy. To seal the deal, even their pet dogs have the same name. At the end of their lives, are they going to have the same amount of money? Let's look at a couple graphs. Graph number one here shows a retiree that does go through negative economic environments, but they happen later. And so you can see it works out okay. It turns out fine. Now, look at graph number two. This graph has all the same factors as retiree number one, except the timing or the sequence of investment returns. Investment returns that are negative early on in retirement can be catastrophic. That leads us to key concept number two. Is it time for you to go to cash? Is it time to be more conservative? Batten down the hatches, hunker down, pull in the horns. I can't blame you for thinking this. You've been taught for years that you need to get more and more conservative the closer you get to retirement. That's a fine strategy if you want to retire and then die. But what if you want to retire and live? Look at graph number three here. This is a very conservative portfolio. It has no negative fluctuations. It only has positive interest added to it. But in today's low interest rate environment and taking withdrawals for retirement income, this portfolio is depleted in similar fashion to our horrible, bad case, negative market returns that we looked at just a second ago. Which is one of the reasons that people like annuities. So that brings us to retirement concept number three, the truth about guaranteed income and annuities. Here's the reality. I have clients who have annuities. They love their annuity. They're happy with it. They love the security and the consistency of the annuity. I have clients who don't like annuities and their situation would not indicate that we would use them. I'm totally fine either way, but you have these talking heads on the radio or on the internet or on the TV who will condemn annuities all the time. Frankly, their product knowledge, their understanding of how current annuities work seems to be stuck in the 1980s. And then the flip side of that is you've got your senior specialists who frankly probably only have a basic insurance license, so they can't sell or use anything else. They push these annuities constantly. So here's the key concept. Anybody who is always in favor of an annuity and anybody who is always opposed to an annuity, do this. Run! Run! They're dangerous to your retirement. We use annuities and we use investments and we use a combination in between based on the goals and the situation that we're addressing, because retirement is a time for moderation. Retirement is a time for education so you can make informed decisions. It is not a time for manipulation towards extremes. As you can see, these key concepts are absolutely crucial to your secure retirement. Your next step is simply to click the link below.